Fans of WWE and WrestleMania rejoice because this is the SmackDown of the ages. This is Do a Powerbomb. Get comfortable, get excited because this one is insane. And I mean it. I cover a lot of crazy comics, but this is insane. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Now, let us begin because our story starts out with the Grand World Heavyweight title between Steel Rose and Cobra San. This was about to be a freaking movie, with Rose celebrating with her family backstage. This was what she had been fighting for. She had a loving husband, a loving daughter. Her life was good. Honestly, it was great. They lived by the code. They loved the code. And by code, I mean wrestling. Even her brother was part of the family business. They were all about wrestling, and they knew she was the best. She was the best. They knew it. The crowd knew it. And when she stepped out, they celebrated her presence. Rose, still Rose. The announcer must have felt compelled because he gave her a mic to say something, and she basically gave a speech for the ages on her knees. She thanked the fans, the family, the blood she has spilled. She thanked the sport. It was a glorious moment. And then everything fell apart with the introduction of the heel, Cobra San. Now, I'm not going to mince words. Cobra San was a piece of shit. I mean, that was his job. His job was to be hated, and he was very good at it. He laughed about her speech. He undermined her in front of everyone. You good, but I'm better type shit. It was honestly understandable why the whole crowd hated him. Even her daughter screamed, "Mom, kick his ass." And yes, she did. Because as soon as the bell was rung, she sprang into action and she landed the first hit. It hit him so hard, he felt it in his brain. But he was still number two, and he responded in kind with a punch to her gut. He almost shattered her spine. This was supposed to be fake, right? Wrong. This is wrestling for real. As soon as he grabbed her, he tossed her to the crowd, and she went falling hard. Her daughter was losing her mind, but her uncle assured her, yeah, don't worry about it. They just playing. He was so wrong because this was a match for real, for real. The hits were coming and they kept on coming. I mean, Cobra San had to go off stage, pick her back, and bring her into the ring to beat her up some more, looking to grab her and do his special move. He was in the process of doing this until everything went wrong. While picking her up, he missed his footing and he landed forcefully with all of his weight on her neck in front of the whole crowd. They all heard the crack together. They all heard her die. It was a moment that came so quickly, nobody could react. Her brother, Cobra San, everyone was frozen. The first person to move was her kid, and she was already gone. I mean, the paramedics came in, thought to revive her, but the deed was done, and somebody was watching. Somebody was ecstatic to see this happen. The family, every single person pulled together and went to the emergency room hoping for some good news. Her kid remembered the conversation she had with her mother about death. You see, her mother was not too religious. She just believed death was another form of life. But at this moment, when she looked at her father's face and he said to her, "She's gone," she knew that death was final. Everything changed that night. Everything. And 10 years later, we see she's following in her mother's footsteps, except she sucks. Shorty was in the middle of her own match and she was losing like a child. I mean, don't get me wrong. When it comes to raw talent, she's got it. Everyone knows this. But for the fact that her father made everyone promise not to even train her, she was terrible. The hits kept on coming back to back. I mean, she responded in kind and she still stood up to fight. She had speed on her side, so she thought to use her speed to her advantage, and it worked, honestly. She performed a hold that was very actually efficient, but she had no muscle mass. The hold was never going to work. Her opponent simply climbed the ropes and came down hard, crashing into the ground. She was knocked out clean, and the match was over. It was a sad life. She was a sad girl. Losing her mother, her hero, broke her. Even her uncle could see it. Baby girl, you are talented as hell, but you have no training. She begged him, your family, you could train me, but he said no. I made a promise, and she understood because only one person could probably make this man decide not to teach her. She was blood. It should be impossible. But yeah, that man was her father, and he was waiting for her right outside. And as usual, she did not appreciate his visit. This was her dream. This was her life. She was allowed to do whatever she wanted to do, and what she wanted to was follow in her mother's footsteps. Her father, however, thought different. Wrestling got your mother killed. I think you should be done with it. She didn't care. Ever since mom died, you've been different. You've been broken. I don't want to be broken anymore. This is what I want to do with my life. Get with it or get out of the way. He was pissed off. Something must have struck a nerve. You want to die like this? Go ahead. Maybe you'll die like her. And he left. And again, someone was watching from the shadows. 10 years later, and he finally had the confidence to talk to her. He tried to stop her, flowing with magic, but she didn't want to talk. Obviously, she wasn't in the mood. Sadly, he was not asking for permission. Now, being a wrestler, she responded in kind with the strike. She was about to take his head off, but he said, you're a wrestler. I get it. You want the fight. Let me show you something. As he grabbed her hand, they teleported somewhere very odd, very scary looking. Honestly, you would think it was hell, but it really wasn't. Welcome to the Baron Bastion. I am William Necroton. Welcome to my home and castle. Walk with me, kid. As he explained as they walked that he was a necromancer and he comes here to give her an invitation to the wrestling competition of the century. And the prize pool is exactly what you want. As I explained, I am a necromancer and I will give you not just a belt, but a gift of life, a gift of the soul. Win my competition and you will bring your mother back. As she froze in place trying to comprehend what he just said. And yep, he was correct. He offered her a gig, a wrestling competition between worlds, a competition that gets to decide if you love your loved one, fight for them. This is the book. This is Do a Powerbomb. Please, if you're a subscriber or rather you're a fan of the video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. It helps me know you are engaging with my content. Peace.